guys, it's me, Zaya. Hello. It's currently October 10, which means that 5 days have passed since the end of Cosmania 2025, and I'm here for my post-con thoughts. Unfortunately, I didn't get to film at the con because lots of things were going on, lots of things were happening. There was barely any time where I was just like staring into nothingness, which happens in a lot of cons. So to prep for this con, I did draw more anime couples. I did 2 of the regular duos, and then I also created a template for trios and 4 polycule, so that was fun to do. After that, I did draw some K-pop girls, a lot of K-pop girls. I did Cat's Eye and Eyelet for a cup sleeve event that I attended last month, and then for this con, I was supposed to add another Eyelet and another Cat's Eye like sticker sheet, but unfortunately I decided to draw literally everyone else instead, because if you didn't know, I'm actually now partnered up with Love Letter Lounge. Some of my items are like in a store in Green Hills Promenade if you're like nearby and you want to check it out. And so I put all of my current old stock into that shop. Essentially, I no longer have a bunch of K-pop stickers because I'm not gonna restock those like individual big stickers that I used to have, and so obviously that means I have to draw all the K-pop girls. So I did IVE, Idol, aespa, Soojin, and also Sabrina Carpenter. In the end, I crammed that. That was included in my big restock. So I didn't actually expect to do a big restock. I underestimated how much I needed to print. I got 4 hours of sleep the night before because I was doing a lot of sticker cutting and printing and whatever. Now I'm gonna move on to packaging. I do briefly talk about it in one of the clips that I have, so I think I'll just insert that here. Here it is. Cute. Okay, I just want to explain why I changed the packaging for my stuff. So this is a new one with the fold, and this is the old one. As you can see, the keychain part itself covers the title of the anime, and I don't really like that. I want everyone to clearly see the title first. I changed the font as well. I just went with the like basic font that I use for my branding and stuff because I wanted to avoid like looking too much like the logo, because what I did before is I recreated the logos of the anime. The best example of this is my Yamata-kun keychain. I actually like got a pixel font, and then the level 999 is like in a different font. So I really tried to imitate the look of the actual logos without using the actual logos. That's actually not supposed to be allowed, so I'm gonna stop doing that. Yeah, and then the back, I have basically a print of the charm. So like honestly, people can cut this out and then put this at the back of their phones. If they're not gonna stick it anywhere anyway, they can just use this print, small print. Now we can talk about the changes to my setup, which also I have a clip of on my stream. I don't know if I will include it or if I'm just gonna talk about it, but basically, instead of having my couple charms like up and down, like 3 panels, I instead put it into my actual 7-tier acrylic stand, which fits so much better. Since I kind of shortened my packaging, then you can see like all of the titles of the anime and a little bit of the actual couples peeking out, especially if you're looking from above. So I really like how that looks. Doing this gave me a lot of space vertically on my panels, and so I still kept like my little shelves that I used to do with my couple charms and instead put my sticker sheets there and also my sticker sets. I will put up some photos of what my actual booth ended up looking like because I did make some changes. I actually put my like face window 1 panel higher so that I'm forced to stand up and like greet people. Yeah, that also gave me a lot more space to work with in terms of the shelvings. So that's it for con prep and setup. Now I'm gonna move on to the Cosmania changes that they made this year. So previously, like a couple years back, Cosmania was only a 2-day event, and really people do prefer 2 days in a con because a lot of people have to book an Airbnb or a hotel, and that's just an extra day of expenses, and it's just not worth it. I will show you later my expenses and stuff and how that affected me in particular, but that's just one of the changes. The second one they did was the first floor thing. We've had a bunch of cosplay PH cons on the first floor before. It's never really been a problem, except this time. Because they put the artist alley instead of like a row on top that encompasses the whole like multiple halls that they use. They instead put us in the fourth hall, which is the last hall, the end of the convention. So obviously, we did not like that. That sounded terrible for us. I feel like a bunch of people aren't gonna know that the artist alley is even here. And so we raised the concern and they did respond to us. They said that the only exit in the whole con would be in Hall 4, where the artist alley was. That's what they said, and I believe them. And I was like, yeah, that makes sense. Like, people are going to be escorted towards the artist alley, I guess. And like, there will be people who will just simply leave, like it's not their interest. But if people are heading towards the exit, they will see that there's an artist alley there at least. However, in the con itself, I heard that if you are in Hall 1 and you want to go to Hall 4, they're gonna make you exit Hall 1 and then you have to re-enter Hall 4. You cannot pass through Hall 2 and 3 or just 3 or something like that, which is not what they promised us, okay? Because if people leave Hall 1 or Hall 2, some people won't know that there's an artist alley in the fourth hall on the last one, right? Like, they're just gonna think, oh, it's exit time. They weren't supposed to exit there. Also, a side note, after the con, somebody ordered some stickers from me through Instagram and told me that they didn't know that there was an artist alley in Hall 4. So yes, that is what happened for some people, unfortunately. Also, we did not have our own bathroom. Or so we thought, alright? So in the second floor of SMX, there are bathrooms at the back of the halls, and some of them are for staff only. That includes us, which is good because we skipped the line and everything. For this one, we had to go outside the hall and into the public restroom where everyone was and where there was always a long line, okay? If you are a woman, there will always be a line for the bathroom. Anyway, on day 3 at like 6 p.m, I found out that there is a bathroom for us, but it's in Hall 3. There was a bathroom in the meet and greet area, and we had to pass through the back in RDU in a different hall. And then it's like a blocked off area where there's like a curtain and you have to show that you're staff and you're allowed to go to the bathroom. We didn't know this. No one knew this. Who would have known? Literally, no one told us that we had a bathroom. And also, we should be free to roam the whole con. Why would we have to pass through the back to enter the bathroom? It's weird. It's weird and it sucks. And we paid $16,000 for those goddamn tables to not have a fucking bathroom or not know about the bathroom. So that's for the cosmania changes. All negative, unfortunately. I'm trying to think of something good about the new layout, but I don't know. I really don't. Now for the con proper. Okay, we were allowed to set up the day before, but unfortunately I live really far, and so I couldn't do that. I just had to go there slightly early. I was trying to go early here, but it was raining like crazy. I passed through Skyway, I drove there, and it was traffic. I don't think I accounted for Friday traffic. Normally I go to SMX on a Saturday and it's just free and it takes me like less than an hour. But this time there was a bit of traffic. I arrived at 10 a.m. and I finished setting up at 12 noon, and day 1 was something else. Point 1, the Ray Ray phone incident. Ray Ray made her own Artist Alley vlog and I will put it up on the card. Please do watch it. Please support her a lot because she did get her phone snatched. Her phone got snatched from her back pocket and we had to assist her and everything. So day 1 was composed of that. Aside from selling, we had to take over her booth, and yeah, I will just let you watch her video if you want to learn more how she dealt with it and whatever. Point number 2, the Airbnb incident. Okay, this is what happened to me. So for the first time, I booked an Airbnb by myself. I usually book with my partner, but he had like a team building and was super busy during that weekend, so I just had to book it myself. I will disclose how much it was and all my expenses later, but that was the first time I was going alone. I checked into the Airbnb and then I ordered food and I was gonna go downstairs to the convenience store. When I went to the elevator of my Airbnb, on the 5th floor, a kid enters. She was around 5 to 7 maybe, and she didn't click any buttons. So I was like, oh, what floor are you going to? And she said, oh, same floor as mine. And she could barely talk, but she said that she was going to the same floor that I was, so I just left it. When the door opened to my floor, she immediately said, oh, my house here, is your house here? And I said, yeah, my house here. So I went through my hallway, and note that my room is like far in the hallway. So I just walked and she was just behind me the whole time until I got to my room, and then I said, okay, this is my house, bye, where's your house? And she pointed into my room and said that my room was her house. And I was like, no, it's not. And I was like, okay, bye. And then I tried to input my code into the door and she was trying to take a peek at it. And I was so scared. I was like, I believe this child's house is here, okay? I should have gone to the lobby, but I didn't because I thought she was telling the truth. Okay, so I covered my door code and I input it until it worked. And then I like shimmied myself into the door, like barely opening it. When I was already in the door and I was closing it, she was like, can I go in? Do you have food? Can I have food? And I was like, no, you can't go in. The room is dirty. So I pushed the door against her while she was trying to get in. I was just like, okay, bye. And then when I closed the door and I set my stuff up, I double locked the door, by the way. She was pressing the numbers on the pad. And I was like, what is happening? I'm so scared. Like, what if it's a modus and there was someone with her who's like trying to steal from me or like kill me or whatever, you know, worst case scenarios when a random child tries to go in your room, all right? And then I just let her be. I sat there in silence on my phone telling people the story of what the fuck just happened because I should have gone to the lobby. I shouldn't have believed the child was going home. Yeah, that was terrifying. I told my mom about it. She was like, what if it was a ghost? And so now I'm alone in this Airbnb thinking that what if it was a ghost? So I went to sleep that night. I woke up every 2 hours. I was that terrified. I texted my friends. I told them, is it possible for you to pick me up in my unit tomorrow because I'm scared? They didn't need to do that because it was like, you know, it was bright and early and a lot of people were going in and out. And also, I told my host about it and they changed the door combination. So that was good. That was really good. Thank you to my host. I appreciated that. And sorry for bothering you at midnight about this incident. So in the end, all of that, day one gave me 2,600 pesos for day one. This is the only one that I'm going to be transparent about because I actually counted it. It's harder to count for day 2 and 3 because there's a lot more people and it's hard to see like the actual correct values, so I'm just not gonna disclose that. But day one, I got 2,600, and I'm sure a lot of people got higher than that based on their popularity and like products that they offer. But also a lot of people definitely got less than that. 2.6 isn't a lot, especially if the table fee is 16,000 for a big table. We split it, so don't worry. Okay, day 2, not a lot to say compared to day 1. Day 1 was a lot, but this one I did like a really casual low-key Zelda outfit. I was gonna wear a wig, but I don't like wigs. So I just like did my hairstyle similar and then wore a Zelda inspired outfit. But yeah, it was the best sales day, I think, if I counted it right. And I met some friends. Yeah, and dinner was good. That's literally it. Day 2 was just a regular con day. It was all good. Day 2, let's just say it was over 3 times what we earned in day 1. Day 3 also, not a lot, but I will post my outfit here because I actually took a picture of it. I really like this outfit. But yeah, day 3, you know, went about as planned, just the usual con stuff. But this time, Riri actually had to go home because she was afraid that her accounts had been compromised, so she had to fix that on her PC and she had to go home. But we insisted on giving her like a mini setup, just some stuff that could fit in her one luggage that we could pack at the end. I tried to make it look as good as possible for people to see it as easily as possible, make sure her products are all out there. But I will post a picture of how we did her booth setup with a very limited amount of things. So yeah, that's it for the actual like cosmania proper, and now it's post-con money breakdown time. So like I said earlier, the table fee was 16,000 for a big table, so that usually means it's a 6 feet or 180 cm table. Normally I table in a 3 feet space, but for these big cons that are 3 days and are very expensive, I can deal with 2 feet, yeah. So I split the table with 2 other friends, namely Ray Ray and Heaven Minutes. So that leaves my table fee at 5,333 pesos. And here are my other expenses. I paid for gas, going there and back, probably 300 pesos, but I did just do the like a base 500 for gas, so I spent that money. Toll fee was 800 total, but my mom offered to pay for it. She usually pays for toll anyway, but I will add that to the computation just for a more realistic expense breakdown. The Airbnb was 3,350 pesos. That was for 2 nights and for 1 person. Okay, my food was 1,100. Ray Ray decided to treat us for day 2 dinner because of what was happening with her phone, and you know, we had to take over selling for her. So thank you, Ray Ray, for that. Appreciate it. And then for parking, my parking is 820 because I did 2 nights overnight in SMX basement. So that is 150 for like the initial entrance. That's a flat fee, but I had a PWD discount, so it went down to 120, and then each night of overnight parking is an additional 350 pesos, so it came down to 820. And yeah, those are all my like actual expenses. If I take into account the production cost, which is a certain percentage of my sales, then that would be an additional 4,500 off of my expenses. I am currently not including all the stuff I bought at Artist Alley because that would bring us to a negative, but I will add it in later. If I add all of those expenses that I laid out, that would be a total of 16,400 pesos. So that's table fee, gas, Airbnb, production cost, food, parking, and toll fee. So far, that's it. And that's without the stuff I bought in Artist Alley. If we add in Artist Alley to my expenses, then that brings the total to around 20,000 pesos. I'm sorry for buying Artist Alley merch as a merchant. 20,000 pesos spent that one weekend, and I earned a little under that. I did earn under that. If we include the Artist Alley and all of the things that I didn't actually end up paying for, we are at a negative. So going forward, I think it's important for me to just not buy too much in Artist Alley. I already have so much. I don't need any more. I'm only gonna buy things that I really, really want and really need. So if we compare this to an event that's closer north, because I'm a northie, I actually make a profit because I don't have to spend for toll, really big parking, and Airbnb costs. For comparison's sake, in Patrons of the Arts Women's Month, which was in Centris Elements, I profited around 2,500. That is more than negative. I think going forward, I would really, really prefer to table in drivable places. So I think for me, like Bayanihan Center, maybe we can go up to Makati, but like Pasay is a bit difficult. SM North, I would love to table. Centris, UP Town, Center, Katipunan, not Uptown. Just so we're clear. Yeah, I would prefer that. But I just really like going to, the Cosplay PH events because I was an attendee for many, many years and it's just close to my heart. I love like cosplay cons. I love like nerd culture, anime culture, game culture. It's just everything to me. And so I want to keep doing it. Unfortunately, that means that I do have to spend a lot more, especially on hotel costs, but hopefully they go down to 2 days. I know that their program has expanded so much that it probably won't fit 2 days anymore. That's just something to reflect on for me and also for Cosplay PH organizers. I hope you're listening to us because we would love to keep tabling in your events. So yeah. In my document that lists down my talking points, I did put here product breakdown, best sellers versus worst sellers, but I haven't actually counted my individual stickers yet. But I do have like the charms and the sets and whatnot, so we can take a look at that. I sold a total of 55 charms. This includes couple charms, the Zelda charms, and my blind boxes. Obviously, the best seller is the Korok blind blocks. The Korok blind box. As it always is, I sold 19 of those out of 20 that I prepared, and we surprisingly did sell some Pekora blind boxes. Please buy them. I overstocked. I still have 30 pieces of that. We did sell 3 this con. And then as for my charms, let's see. The most I've sold is Fragrant Flower. I sold 3 of them. The others I sold 2, 1, or 0. Surprisingly, did not sell any Rujinu and Polytrix charms, which is a bit of a letdown because I love Polytrix. My couple charms are my best selling after the Korok blind boxes. I just wanted to give the people the option to get Polytrix and Rujinu. I did sell some stickers of it, but the charms are 0. And I prepared 3 Rujinus and 4 Polytrixes. Hopefully that hype is still there because that's a lot of keychains I have to sell. Surprisingly, sold both of my Mushoku Tensei charms. I only prepared 2 because I didn't think it would sell like at all, but 2 people bought it. So that's really nice. That's it for charms. Next is for my sticker sets, which includes all the sets and also my sticker sheets. For the sets, I sold the most of Bocchi the Rock, Elden Ring at 3, and then I lied because I actually sold 4 Night Rain sets, but it was more like 5 because I had to prepare an extra set for somebody because I had no more of the set, so I sold 5 of that technically. And then for my sticker sheets, I don't really have a best seller because they're all like 0, 1, or 2, but I did sell 2 Cat's Eye ones, 2 Sabrinas, 2 Nikki's, and 2 Dragons. I'm just happy that my Korok blind boxes are still popping off because I will never phase those out. Those are my favorite things in the world. I love them so much. I love Koroks. I have a Korok shrine. And also I'm happy that my Night Rain was doing really well. I love Night Rain so much. That's it for my Cosmania vlog. I'm sorry for yapping. Thank you everyone for watching. I hope you learned something. I hope you come back for more. Goodbye! See you next time. Bye bye!